What's up, it's your boy KC. Welcome to another topic video. Today's topic is going to be about reboots and remakes. See, it's a very polarizing thing because you have people who have no problem with people remaking their favorite movies and cartoons and rebooting series and stuff. Then you have people on the other side who have the nostalgic memories of the originals that came out, and they love the originals and they don't want to see their memories tampered with, or just see their favorite series messed up in certain kind of ways. I can understand that because everybody feels that way. But lately I've been feeling like Hollywood's been pumping out all these remakes and reboots that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for it, nobody wanted. You know what I'm saying? If you want to introduce something to the new generation, then just come out with the original stuff that got us into it. And I'll use some examples like Thundercats. When Thundercats came out in 1985, it was the best damn cartoon of the 80s. There was no cartoon that was better than Thundercats in the 80s, and that was it. You know, everybody remembers it. It has such a cultural impact on all of our lives. Even our parents knew what Thundercats were. We knew what they were. The generation after this knew what Thundercats was about. Why the hell did they feel the need to come out with a reboot? Nobody asked for it. If you wanted these kids to know what Thundercats was like, you should put the damn show back on, the original show, on the networks now. There was no need for a reboot because you knew it was going to die a slow, agonizing death because nobody wanted to watch a reboot. Nobody asked for that, just like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. 1983. That was a great cartoon. I enjoy it. I still watch it now. And even though I was born 3 years later, it's a lot of fun to watch. Nobody asked for the reboot in 2002. That's why nobody even knows that there was a reboot in 2002. God bless Cam Clark for his work as Liquid Snake in Metal Gear Solid. That's what I'll remember him as. But just the new He-Man, nobody wanted it, and that also died a slow, agonizing death. You got these movies like the new Ghostbusters movie. I don't think anybody expected this piece of shit that we got. When we all heard, let's be honest, when we all heard of a third Ghostbusters movie, we all thought about the original people that were in the last two movies. Now the thing that sucks is that they waited so damn long because Harold Ramis is not around anymore. They could have done a third one 20 years ago. They could have did a third Ghostbusters movie. 10 years ago they could have did one. I would have been fine with it. And I think the main problem with that movie is, again, they tampered with people's memories. They tampered with people's nostalgic memories of the original Ghostbusters. The original Ghostbusters movies. When you think about Ghostbusters, you think of Peter, Ray, Winston, and Egon. So when they brought these new girls in that nobody knew about and nobody really asked for, let's be honest, people got pissed because it's like, this is the third movie you're gonna give us? I can understand why they were mad. To me, it has nothing to do with them being women, but the fact that, you get everybody's hopes up and you give us this piece of trash. The movie looked like crap. The CG looks like garbage. The dialogue was cheesy as all hell. There was no dark humor like the original two. It just had nothing about it that I liked. I gave it a chance, and all these feminazis and all that stuff with the, calling us misogynists and sexists and all that, y'all can kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with them being women, because you could have plugged women in there and you could have had a great script and the movie could have been good if they actually tried to make the movie good, instead of cashing in on a franchise like Ghostbusters that still makes money to this day. Don't give me that bullshit. Y'all always come out of the woodworks, always with that crap. When we don't like something that has a female lead, we're automatically sexist and all that. Oh, you just don't like the fact that there's female empowerment in this movie. Who gives a fuck? That's not why I didn't like the movie. I didn't like the movie because it was shit. It wasn't funny. There was nothing about it that was even redeemable. So shut the hell up. What else do we got? We got things like the new Power Rangers that came out. Okay, Like I said, it's a polarizing thing. Some people don't care. Other people are like, we already had Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We were perfectly fine with that one. We didn't need a remake, especially when you have 5 of the originals still living. I mean, you could have just plugged them in there. I know that that the girl that played Trini, she's not around anymore. She died in the early 2000s. But it's fine, whatever. I'm not interested in the movie because I didn't ask for it. I've always been the type of guy like this. Once I see something that was already great, like let's take Batman the Animated Series. Batman the Animated Series was the best cartoon of the 90s. It was the best cartoon. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times I've watched that. And shows like Martin and Fresh Prince and Family Matters, those shows that were great in their original incarnations. So when I get done watching stuff like that, I'm not a fan of people bringing stuff like that back with new people in it, and you have to relearn the characters and stuff. I never really cared about that. If I want to watch Martin, I go back and I watch Martin, the original. That's the way I've always been. I don't really care for people, we're going to introduce new characters taking on the roles of people. Like, can you imagine Sanford and Son now with different people? Nobody would care. Nobody would watch it. It wouldn't be nowhere near as funny as it was in the 70s. Let's be honest here. That's the type of person I've always been. Once I see something and it's great, I don't want to see nobody remake it. Because 9 times out of 10, Hollywood, what is with this bullshit? This is a segue, so it's the same subject. Hollywood always feels the need to tweak something, to add something to the storylines and to backstories that nobody asked for. Case in point, look, I don't have a problem, like I said, don't take this the wrong way, but in the new Power Rangers, they felt the need to make Trini a lesbian, and when I saw that, everybody was, up in arms, why did they have to do that? They're ruining my childhood. Shut up. I'm sick of hearing that bullshit. They ruined your childhood. Get the hell out of here. They ruined your childhood. My expression was like, why the hell did they feel the need to add that? Why did they need to add that? It just feels to me like they're just trying to appeal to all groups. And that's the thing that I'm kind of tired of. Like, seriously, all these agendas, like, they really shoving that stuff in people's face, and that just getting annoying because it's like, come on, alright already. We know that there's gay people out there. We know that there's lesbian people out there. Can we all just get along with our lives? Like, seriously, why the hell do they feel the need to change stuff that nobody asked them to change? Not even them. Honestly, like, I'm looking at comments and there are dudes that are like, they're saying that they're gay and they didn't ask for that. So if they didn't ask for it, then what the hell was the purpose? Shock value? They tweak stuff for no reason. And that's why a lot of people get mad too, because it's like, come on, if you're gonna remake something, stick to the original source. Stick to the original content that made it great in the first place. That's why I have no faith in reboots at all, because Hollywood is gonna Americanize it and they fuck shit up. Excuse my language, they do, man. Look at all the movies that they come out with. Look at all the movies that they come out, all the remakes and stuff, all the Godzilla movies that were shit after the original ones from Japan. Another example, the King Kong movies. How many damn times are you gonna come out with King Kong? That's been played out. For years it's been played out. Seriously. And I think that it's just this. What it all comes down to is Hollywood has run out of ideas. They have no more creativity going on over there. So they look for these franchises that still make money, and they feel the need to remake them and tweak this shit to get people's interest to go see these shitty movies, and they wonder why it fails. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and say that all remakes and reboots are bad, because some of them were actually pretty good. Some of them could rival the originals. But that was when Hollywood had the creativity to make those great. And there's no better example than Batman. let's take Batman for a second. Anybody that grew up in the 60s, they associate Adam West with Batman. You know, the 1966 show that they had. Remember, kids, never hit someone with glasses. You know what I mean? And just for a little history note for you guys who don't know, Adam West was not the first Batman. He was the first guy to make Batman famous, but he was not the first Batman. There were two more Batmen before he even came along. The first Batman was played by a man named Lewis Wilson. He played Batman in 1943, and then he was replaced with a guy named Robert Lowry. He played Batman in 1949 in the very first Batman and Robin film. So that's just a little bit of history for you guys. But nobody knew, like personally, my favorite Batman movies are the ones with Michael Keaton. I feel that he was the perfect Batman. He was great as Bruce Wayne and Batman. When that Batman movie came out in 1989 and Batman Returns, there was no Batman movies that were better than that. I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion. I think they hit their peak with that. But that's a perfect example of a remake or reboot that was successful. And you can even say Batman Forever. I'll even throw that there with Val Kilmer. It didn't do as bad as the ones that came after it. It was still a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. A lot of people don't, but I did. That was a successful reboot. You know what I'm saying? The Dark Knight series that they had, there are a lot of people that rave about that series. Those are examples of reboots that were successful when Hollywood has the creativity and the drive to push it. Superman is another prime example. And again, with another history note, George Reeves was not the first Superman. He was the second one. The first Superman was a man by the name of Kirk Allen, who played Superman in 1948. And that's it for History Class with KC. I want y'all to go home and do your homework, and I want to see y'all actually try in these history projects or I will fail you. I'm sorry, I had some bad flashbacks there. Anyways, Superman. When George Reeves came out, there are some people that absolutely loved that show. I mean, if you grew up in that era, I thought it was pretty cool. Bit cheesy. I mean, there's just some instances where he turned into Superman that made no sense whatsoever. Like this guy, I remember in there's a scene that sticks out in my mind where he gets ready to turn into Superman and he just jumps out the window and his clothes just magically disappear and he turns into Superman. I'm like, what the hell happened there? I'm like, what happened? Like, that didn't make any sense there. And I don't know why I thought about that, but it was funny. But a reboot, a remake, when Christopher Reeves came along, that was successful. To this day, I think he overachieved. That's one. Because I remember listening to Christopher Reeves, he said that he had to audition for that role multiple times before they would give it to him because they didn't feel he looked the part. They had to give him a padded suit to make him bigger because he was a skinny guy. And boy, can you imagine what Superman would have been like if they passed on Christopher Reeves? That guy is Superman. I don't care what nobody says. Every other Superman that came after him failed miserably. I mean, Dean Cain was alright, all the way up to the point to where they made him marry Lois Lane. That didn't make any sense. But that was a successful reboot. Christopher Reeves came along and he made Superman famous. He did. So when Hollywood tries, they can make things work. It's just that when they come out with these movies and I'm sitting back here, I'm like, they're just cashing in on the name. They're not trying. You put out shit, people get mad, it fails. That's just how it is. I'll leave off with this. Hollywood, you guys have to be very, very careful with the franchises you choose to remake and reboot and tamper with, because there are a lot of people who love these things dearly, who grew up on them, who have the best memories of these shows, and the last thing you want to do is ruin it for them to where they don't look at it the same anymore, because you don't want to do that. You're asking for failure. You're setting yourself up to fail when you do lazy shit like this. And that's all I gotta say. I'll check you out later. Peace.